Morning guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So, because this week's the first week of me getting back into the groove with things, I thought I would mix it up a little bit, just to see how things are. Again, I'm not taking any sort of trades today, if I'm honest with you. It's just about get myself back into a rhythm and a routine after coming back from the COVID. So I'm just going to share the screen, and it is excuse me, it's 17th, Wednesday the 17th of November. So if you hear me coughing, don't worry, it's just the back end of what I've had over the last few weeks. Right, so at the moment, you'll notice the time is different as well. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to try and do some of these from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Albeit we're going to be obviously pausing the video between segments. We'll just look at what's happened from yesterday and things like that. See, we had, excuse me, you can tell I'm still a little bit bad. We've had a big drive down, and there was a big spike on here. Okay, so if you just ignore this, this is something I've been looking at and playing around with this morning. Let's get the goalposts set up. 9 o'clock. Start. So 10. AM finish. Right, so we've got the goalposts. The next step is obviously our path, and we speak heavily about this. We just do the more prominent swing points, if that makes sense. And if you don't know why I do this, you just need to go back on the other videos. It just gives us a higher time frame price action while keeping the intermediary. So again, if I do this up to the half hour, you're going to see we've got the swing points there more or less spot on, more so going down to the 15 minutes. See what I mean? So that's pretty spot on, to be fair. And all that means is when we come down and break structure from these points, okay, we're just looking for a refined entry down on the 1 minute into the order block areas. So you can see this is an order block here. If we broke that structure, we've got an order block here, and it's just intermediary price with the long path on the higher time frame of if that makes sense. So at the moment, let's just get that there. Got the swing point, we've got a double bottom on here. I'm possibly looking at an order block straight away for an entry, to be honest. Let's have a look. Looking at that there, possibly as an order block. Okay, and giving us an entry round about there. Up to the higher side. So it's a 1 to 3.5. Basically, because what's happened is that there has become a breaker structure. Okay. That's become a breaker structure. Excuse me, it's got a bad chest. That's why I was a little bit later getting up this morning. So as we've come up, we'll get the fire wand out. So here's the fire one. So as we've pushed out of this big dip, we're starting to get a bit of a climb. Is this going to be the turning point of the Euro USD? We'll have to find out today. Again, we've got lower highs, higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, lower highs, high highs, lower highs, higher highs, lower highs. Now, what's happened now, we have sort of failed to break above here. So we've got liquidity is also residing right here. So a bit of a double top going at the moment. So hopefully we're going to get the pullback from this area. And that pullback will do one or two things. It's either going to come down and it's going to respect one of a couple of levels. Okay, and I'm just going to highlight these for you. It's either going to come and respect that level there. It's going to come respect the lower level, or it may even just respect that level there. Okay, so you've got basically level one. You've got level two, and you've got level three. Now, yesterday, I'll get this back on. Now, yesterday, I spoke heavily about prices and how they are discounted prices and premium prices. Now, within the swing point that we've got here, within this swing point here, okay, we've got areas where if price flags back down into these areas, okay, we can get a rejection off here, and it might go higher to break this structure and take out this liquidity. However, it might take out the liquidity on the downside and push further down to give us a more heavily discounted price. And then it might reject off number two, and then it might surge up to take liquidity from the higher side. But also for the heavily discounted prices, what we're aiming for, we are looking for that better price for us. If it does come down to number three, we then could then get the resurgence back up to give us a risk to reward of 1 to 3.5. So again, what we've got here, this would be premium. Okay, this is a premium price. This is discount. This is a discount price. On here though, we've got the bargain basement. Okay, we've got the out of date stock sort of thing to put an analogy on it. So we've got a premium, we've got discount, we've got bargain. We want the price to come all the way down to the bargain to get us in on the best price that we have, because it's within this. It's within this range, okay? Overall, it's within that range overall that we are looking to be getting in on the price, okay? So this is where price at the moment is holding structure. Price is holding structure at this time between here and between here. That's where price is holding structure at the moment. We've got a bit of a double top going on, as you can see on the top end here. But now we are waiting for price to come back in within its held structure range, okay? And at the moment, we can see it's coming. It's tested beautifully at the moment at 50% of this order block. Hopefully, this will hold its structure. We might get a secondary push down into number two, which is our discount area. You can see here we've had a bit of a pullback. So I've included, instead of the tiny candle with the wick, I've included the initial pullback, as you can see from here, okay, just to get a little bit more in here. This is the pullback on there. So that is our second area. That will be the discount area. you could go for there. However, because structurally we've got a third area, which is our bargain basement, as I'm calling this, I'm looking for this candle here to be the one that is going to be tested. It doesn't always happen, but it's how we are looking structure wise for it to play out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I hope that's given you a bit of a good analogy, a good approach on how we look at these range sort of areas. Again, bigger picture wise, we are not looking at anything bigger picture wise as such. We've got our goalposts, which is we are condensing everything in. We are looking at the previous swing point and where it's been broken. However, we could be looking at areas today, like on the high side, we could be aiming for to come up to here. If I'm honest, will we come crashing down? I'll probably set the goal line as that down there. Excuse me. So I've got my parameters set, okay, within our 2-hour time frame of the goalposts of 9 to 11. It's a new time I'm trying. I'll give you guys a great analogy with regards to the play out and the bias. Okay, so we've got a low. We'll come to here. That's a high. Low. I'm just going to see if I can copy these over low. Then we've had the impulse, because this was a good impulse move. We've got a high. Again, I'm just trying to be as visual as I can, because I know there's some new people starting to watch these on here. And then we've got on the top of the mountain here, got a high. Then we've got a double top on here, so the range from here to here. We've got low. We basically want to see, if I'm honest with you, we basically want to see this area here. We want to see that there. We want to see this area here to be pushed into breakthrough, because if we push and break through this area, if we push and break through this area here, we've broken that low, okay? And at the same time, that's held structure up there. So that would tell me then we would possibly come down to the second area, which is a discounted heavier price within the contracts of that pullback there. And then we might get a bounce back up. Let's just see if I can get something what I'm expecting. So we may get a push here, and then hopefully we'll get the rejection there to then bring us up. That's the sort of thing that I would be looking at. Doesn't mean to say it's going to play out, but that's the directional bias that I would be looking for. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's a bit thicker. Yeah, we'll do that like that. So that's the sort of thing that I would be looking at, coming down, pushing us through this low, okay, which is around about there. Let's get this correct, John. Okay, and then as we push through, we'll get a break, a retest, and then as you get the retest, we'll get the discount. Hopefully we'll start keeping this as a liquidity area on the push back up, but then get the drive down into the bargain basement area. The reason I've got the entry just above this here, I always do that with regards to these sort of things. But let's say if the general bias for us is going to be good for this, and we'll be back in a minute. I'm just going to go and make myself a little bit of a cup of tea, and I'll be back shortly, guys. See you in a bit. So today's session is obviously going to be more of a visual representation of, easy for you to say, John, get your teeth in, representation of price action. Okay, so if we just make this a little bit bigger, get my handsome face a little bit bigger on there, you can see again, just while I've got my, what would be my half-time cup of tea if I start this at 7:30. We've got a range, okay? This big yellow box is our range. Point A, point B, low, high, okay? We've got a double top within that low, high. We've pulled back to create a why have I said that's a low, low? It's not a low, low. Higher, low. Higher, low. Higher, low. Higher, low. That's what they are. Right, so I do apologize. I've been training for 5 years. You'd think I'd get that bit right. So as we've come up and we create these higher lows, okay, we've got the pullback, okay. The pullback is the high low here, but then it went up and it didn't quite sort of give us the break. It's come back down and it's respecting within a little bit of a zonal area here. Again, on the fibs, 50% retracement is generally, excuse me, is generally, you see this gray line, 50% of that initial impulse is where price would generally come back to. And it more or less done that here, okay? It hasn't bounced off it. So we're heading into some sort of consolidation at the moment. Each candle on here is worth a minute. So you've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Around about 13 candles there of a condensed consolidation spring effect happening on here. So as that sort of compresses in, it's going to be ready to sort of jolt and jump. So it's either going to do, there's only one or two things it can do. It's either going to come up and take out liquidity from here, okay? Or what we want to aim for is for the price to come down and break through here a bit more than what it's done already. See that retest and then spike down into our next area, which is the discount area here. Okay, we've named these 3 areas today. You've got your premium price, you've got your discount price, and then you've got the bargain basement. So within the range, you'll generally get 2 or 3 areas where price could come to do some respecting and testing. So as you can see on here at the moment, as we close further in, it's getting rather wicky at the moment. We're getting the price driving down, and it's sort of hovering where this higher low is, okay? It's testing respected a few times, but nothing where it's done a full breakout of a candle. It's done it at like what we would generally call it a fake out candle wax out of here, and then it's rallied straight back into the area of the premium box, okay? Again, we want to see a nice full candle and a closer candle outside, not once but twice. If we get that, we might get the retest back on here, and then more so possibly pushing out of this 50% area, and then taking us into stage 2 or DEFCON 2, which would be the price action on the discount side. But we want the Christmas bargains. We want the bargain basement stuff. We want this to push down into here. If it pushes down into here, it's happy days. We'll get an entry, and then that means we've entered a risk to reward of 1 to 3.5. There's the push through that lower high. See there? Will this price hold? We've got 40 seconds of a candle. 40 seconds. Hopefully that candle's going to hold. You see how it's just about hit our 50% of that impulse drive here. It's just gone down to wick test, and it's pushing back up into the premium. 20 seconds left. So the buyers are trying to gain control now. See if it's going to push down. I love doing these live. It just shows you that obviously on the 1 minute charts, we don't rush anything. You still let price come to where you want it to go to. 3 seconds left. Close a candle underneath the high low. Will it do that for us? Looks like it has. So that's given the sellers, it's adding pressure to the selling side. We've seen some big wicks on these 1 minutes, to be fair. We'll see if this will hold and give us. I would like to see this close below. If this was to close below this line here, we might get a sort of little bit of consolidation between the high low and the 50% area here. We might get that big consolidation like what I was expecting on the buyers here. And then we might get the push into discount back up into just above the 50%, and then get a semi sort of impulse drive down to bargain basement. And then we may get that shoot off up to the higher side of liquidity. We'll see what happens. We'll give this 10 seconds. 10. We've got 5 seconds, as you can see on here. There's a close a candle underneath. New candle. Are we going to get that push underneath the 50% area line? Or are we just going to get some sort of consolidation as expected? We'll see what happens on this candle, guys, and then I'll pause it, and then we'll take it from there. There's the touch on the 50%. Bad chest today. And again, guys, if you haven't already seen Forex Fire, click on the little green link on the top right hand corner of my YouTube banner. There's some merchandise on there. Get yourselves the mugs, get yourselves a t-shirt, hoodies. I've got all sorts on there at the moment. Support the channel. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, click the join for the price of a cup of coffee a day to support the channel. You'll get access to so much more, and also this Discord area as well. So here we go. There's the push down into discount. Fantastic. Like a work of art. And we're now into the discount price. And again, we generally see 50% area worked. So if we were to give that its true range, there's your 50% target of that range there. It's bounced straight off that. Now, will this be the area where price is going to do the bounce and straight back up? Or will we get the comeback up to retest on here again, or retest from here, and then get the initial drive into bargain basement to then give us what we are aiming for in total? Big wick on the end of this. The buyers are trying to push back in. Buyers are trying to push back in. Some wick that, like, so again, we might see that. We might see the push up from there, to be fair. We might get the push from here. Time will tell. Time will tell. Well, you can see my general bias. Did see it. Bang, bang, bosh. Into here. Waiting for a secondary push back onto here. And hopefully that secondary push back onto here is going to produce a further impulse drive down. With a bit of luck, we've got 20 seconds. Let's just see if we get that. Let's just see if we get that. Again, that's what I was looking at there. I'm waiting for a secondary push up to bounce off here to then give us another impulse, if that makes sense. Here we go. Is it going to give us that drive down? We'll stay on live. We'll see how it plays out. It's good to see price action move and understand it. And And as we look further down into here, obviously we've got the discounted price area here. Price efficiency at the moment, wicks coming all the way down, it's taken there, then a drive up, drive down. We've got a little bit of imbalance sort of just underneath the discounted area. So again, it's given us some more importance to push out through this discounted price. 1 second. There's the consolidated press that I was talking about between the 50% of that swing of this drive here and also the higher low. It is consolidating a bit more. We want that little bit of a test because we've had the 50% on the discount, push back onto the higher low, and then we want an impulse drive down into the bargain area. Now, I can't make this up, guys. Again, from that there to that there, you're talking around about a 2 to 3 pip maneuver. Now, there's not many people can sort of look at the charts and sort of give you a bias within such a condensed sort of area. I mean, hopefully we're going to get the bounce off the line here. It's just when you get used to sort of candles and formations, you get to see these sort of things. There's the touch. Now we need to drive down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. New candle. Now this is where it's going to determine which direction it's going to go. It's either going to bounce down into and through the 50% discount, or we're going to smash back through and up over and then take liquidity on the high side. This is the important area. It just seems prices is wicked down. When prices wick down, it's taking out liquidity from here as well. Okay, if that makes sense, because liquidity was residing here. Let's just see if I can get this. So you had liquidity here, okay, as well. So if we just do that. That there was liquidity until we had to drive down and push out. So then that took that out, okay? So again, that's why we could get the push up, but I'm still anticipating what I said was going to happen on my general bias. 50% takeout, come back to the EHL liquidity area, secondary push down and beyond the discount area of price action, and then head into the bargain basement price action, which is we ultimately want. I'll give it another minute or two, and then I'll pause the video and I'll do what I need to do, and we'll jump back on to see where price is taking us. It's teasing that area on the discount. It's good to see these play out, to be fair. It just trains your eyes a bit more, to be honest. And again, we are working within our goalposts. We've set our goalposts. We've got our range, and we're just working within that price. I'm not going chasing price anywhere else. I'm not going chasing price on anywhere else on the market. I've set my stall out on here. This is my move for today. I generally do this on a day-to-day basis on one pair, maybe look at another pair, but that's around about it. If I get any trades for the day, happy days. If I don't, I don't. I just learn to sit my hands. Doing and trading price this way for me has learned me to be disciplined, learned me to be patient, but also it's opened my eyes a lot more to price action and how the flow of the candles work, you know. So we'll wait for this close of candle, we'll pause the video, and we've still got that consolidation area that I was expecting. And like I say, I don't make this up, guys. It's live, it's in front of you. Yes, it's recorded, but I'm doing live recording as it happens. As it happens. 3, 2, 1, new candle. Right. So what we'll do is we'll pause the video from there. From there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes worth of 1 minute candles stuck between a 3 pip range. I told you it was going to consolidate between this. So we're just waiting for the spring to uncoil itself and then do its bang, do its move, which way it wants to go. We still hold structure. We still anticipate our bias. We still hold the bargain basement entry. Okay, it's heading down into the discount area. We'll do this one candle and it will be paused because I've got to go and check on the dog. And hopefully you're getting a little bit out of this today as well, with regards to how we're looking at price structure, how we're looking at the swing points, and how we're identifying, in this occasion, the three areas where price can actually do a retrace to, either respect or disrespect, and what could happen between those areas and where it could head to on a directional bias. It's either the price will always ever only do one or two things. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. When it's in consolidation, it still goes up and down. It's just how you anticipate and precipitate what's going to happen within that area. I've identified the area where it could possibly happen, and I've got my directional bias set ready for when it wants to react. And so far, the bias that I've got is spot on. 15 seconds, guys. Heading back into the discounted price. We'll pause the video. We'll be back in a second, guys. We'll see where we are in a bit. Hi guys, let's just take a look. As we can see, price actually did a jolt up. The fire went out. We actually jolted up as as one of the options that it could do. We had the touch on the 50%, the compression, then we've had the massive spike up. There's no price inefficiency on this side here. However, we've now, just to be visual, we've now got an imbalanced area. So again, just trying to be as visual as I can for you guys to help you identify these areas and things like that. It's my camera going a bit silly there. Again, we could see from this standpoint, once we move up, come down into the discounted area again, or maybe down into the bargain area, and then a push up. Maybe another option that it could do. Again, we've created imbalance as well. From there, there's imbalance there, but it's nothing to sort of scream about or shout about, to be fair. So I'm just going to take that off. It'll hold significance. It always does when there's improper price action anywhere. But again, if this was more down here, I'd be more sort of interested in it, if that makes sense. I'm just going to pause the video. We'll be back in a second. I will draw these things out as they sort of play. We will talk more in depth on what we're expecting and what we're looking at on price action. It does look a bit messy at the moment, but if you've been watching this video from the beginning, you'll understand what we've got with these higher lows, higher highs, double top. As we've got the double top, structure wise, this does look a hot mess. Structure wise, point A, point B, we're stuck within the range, the big yellow box. We've identified three areas, okay? The three areas being order block 1, order block 2, and order block 3. I've included the three things in here. Again, order block wise, you could say, yeah, we're order block wise, this could be a nested order block in there, okay? On the overall drive down, impulse drive down. Yes, it's coming to respect that, okay? So as that's done that, it's mitigated into this order block. So again, there's only so much more of a move from there to there. That there's only just around about a pip worth of price for that to be mitigated at some stage. So again, if this does come down to mitigate into that area of that pip of price, we should then hopefully see the drive down into the bargain basement entry. You're not always going to get the best price action. Again, we've got swing point here, B, 50% line. Okay, you see this line here, 0.5. We knew that there was going to be a lot of consolidation in here, a lot of volume, if that makes sense. We did hold that structure in there for a while, but unfortunately, as we got within the lower impulse drive below here and this order block here, we got the 50% tested, okay, which is that there, and it's within the nested area. It then consolidated for a bit, but then it sprung back off. But again, price and structure wise, via A to B, still held. Price is still holding. So overall, as much as what's going on within that compressed that structure of clear, the overall bargain basement price, what I'm wanting, still holds true. So as much as what's going on in there, and we mark these levels off where we've got premium, discount, bargain, we've got imbalance holding up here, we just need to have these POIs or point of interests. We just need to structurally have these played out, because when we see price moving between these POIs, we have an understanding that we know when it gets to that, which is the imbalance, we understand that there should be a reaction. There should be a reaction, okay? When it comes down to the discount area, we know within this area here, as we measure out, we've got around about a pip, 1 pip left of improper price action. Is it going to respect that, or is it just going to come down and tease people and then shoot back off to the higher side? As long at the end of the day, this here, once this structure here has been broken, this liquidity area has been broken, okay, we would then be re-looking at our entry areas with regards to this pushing up to the higher side. From there, we would push with the order blocks already being mitigated in here. We would wait and see what plays out with regards to price on everything else. But I'm still holding and sitting on my hands that I want this bargain. This is what I want. I want the Black Friday deal. I want the Black Friday deal. Let's see if this plays out. Haven't got my hopes up too high, simply because everything on here is being played through the premium. Okay, so the premium price is all being taken. There's only 1 pip left of the discount price. We do really need the push down to the lower side to get onto the bargain basement stuff. So I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back in a second, guys. I hope these analogies and how I'm sort of drawing these out has given you a bit more of an understanding on price action and price movement. Okay. So we're back once again for a quick update, guys. Just get my handsome face a little bit bigger. Right, so what we've got the movements. However, you can see it's continuously coming down to test the discount area. Now, this here was in balance, okay? As you can see on here, it's now taken that 1 pip out here. Right, you know, when we spoke about the imbalance and the 1 pip, it's now taking this out. It's come up. It's taken imbalance on this higher side, just on this little bit of a draw, pulled down from this area here. The structure still holds. However, we may see now the push to the higher side, and we may get the liquidity taken out on here. But again, we've got the premium price has all been taken and liquidity taken from it with regard to the imbalance areas in there. We've got the discount area on number 2 more or less taken out completely as well. give or take the pipette that is residing here. From there, we still structurally between the lower to the higher side on those two yellow eclipses to the left-hand side. You can see between those two areas, our bargain area, which is number 3, and the order block that retains in there is still within that structure of play. We just need to continue and hold within our 2-hour session that we are doing with this. See if we can come down to get an entry on there. If we do get that, it's happy days. Again, this is a risk or reward of 1 to 3.5. From there, there's been a lot of sideways maneuver between the premium entry and the discount entry. We just need the sellers to try and push the price down into our bargain area at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I'm going to let this play out as well. I'm trying to give you as much value as I can today with regards to how we work within these zones, how we work within a premium price action, a discounted area to buy from or sell from, and also the ultimate goal, which is what it always is between your swing point range, is getting that bargain entry. Because the tighter we have the bargain entry, the better the price action for us with regards to the entry, but also it gives us a much better risk to reward, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, because it's still swinging between the premium and the discount at the moment, we've still got our bias, as you can see from those purple lines. The red line is where we ultimately want price to take us to bounce up from and to go to. But I've got the directional bias on the purple lines, what I've been expecting from the player of 1 or 2 ways it could go. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. It is now 20 past 10. I'm possibly going to have another cup of tea, to be fair, and we'll be back in the next 10 or 15 minutes, see what's happened with this price, see if we do get that pushed out of bargain, and then we'll have, as always, an end of day conclusion, my thought process on that, and what we're looking at going forward as well. Okay, from here, guys, as you can see, the imbalance is still holding within that structure of play as well. So it's been in and tested it. With regards to obviously structure as a whole, it's normally 50% will get tested in there. I don't think the 50% it hasn't. 50% has not been tested within that imbalance. So we might still get the test on the 50%. We hopefully can then get something along the lines of this pushing down and touching onto our bargain for an entry. Okay, so give me 5-10 minutes. We'll be back to see what's happened with the price action. We're coming into the last half hour, and it looks like we might actually get a push up to the higher side that might take out our liquidity. We haven't had an entry, to be fair. We sat on our hands. I'm just going to show you the screen though. So all's not lost, other than we've been taking a lesson today on price action and the premium discount and bargain price, to be fair. So just as a runner player, you can see now the imbalance has been taken on the 50%. It's more or less to the pip on the imbalance as well. So it now looks as if we might get the push up. This is, for me, basically the last barrier between the bargain area and the liquidity. So if this sort of smashes through the imbalance, the chances are what's going to happen is it's going to get a push up, a bring down, and then the liquidity may be taken. So we are on the final leg of what could possibly happen on this, to be honest. We followed the price action throughout. We've identified the areas or the POIs, the point of interests. We've seen these mitigates, we've seen these respect, and we've seen everything play out to the bias that we expected. And being able to do this on the charts, again, yes, we haven't got the entry that we wanted, but what you can take away from the lesson, and what especially what I've done today, is the general direction and the general bias I've been speaking about when these areas are either A, being mitigated, or B, respected, which is the same sort of thing in essence, to be fair, and what we expect with regards to the consolidation in these sort of areas. The bias on everything that I've done play by play on the minute by minute so far has been absolutely spot on. So there's only, like I say, one or two things can still only happen on this. It's either going to give us our entry, or we are on our the final barrier or the final wall that it's going to push through, where it's now respecting the imbalance on that higher side. If we push up through that imbalance, it's certainly going to come back down, retest on that 50% of the imbalance, and then I do believe it will take out the ultimate goal, which was this higher high here, in essence. Okay, so again, it's teasing and it's given a lot of movement within here. If we do get the push above on here, it's taking the imbalance out. We'll get a push back down onto this most certainly, and I'm very confident that then it will eventually take out the imbalance on this higher high side. Overall, this here, all these price movements and inside of this is what's been happening inside of the lower, the higher low and the higher high. Okay, we've just been marking up and putting in our POIs, our point of interests, knowing full well that price will come back and respect these areas. But it's how you can learn to be disciplined, how you can learn to be able to sit in your hands and understand we are still scalping overall on this. We are still scalping. It's just we are taking a more controlled approach to how we are using our emotions to get in on a trade. We are not just looking at individual little swing points within within the price movement along all of this. Okay, we are looking at the structure of play, which is that higher low to the higher high. I don't care what's happening within that, other than whatever happens within that structure of play. I'm just marking out the point of interest and then looking at the areas that it can sort of come to respect, mitigate from. But the ultimate goal is and has always been is we've had our, on that spring impulse move from the higher low to the higher high, we've identified our premium area where we could get an instant reaction. We have got our discount area where we get a reaction, which we have. We still hold true on that overall bias of the higher low to the higher high. The bargain basement buy, which is what you always want, guys. It's what you always want. As long as that price structure holds, that is still going to be the target. That's still going to be what we're playing for. And at this time, the imbalance has been met on the higher side. The sellers are starting to push the price down as we speak. So as long as I've got a breath in my body and as long as the structure is holding, we still hope that we are going to get the initial move down to the bargain basement and get the entry to then get that impulse drive to the higher side. Again, we have now got roughly 20 minutes. I'm going to pause the video. We'll see what happens. But all in all, we are left with two options now. It's either now going to push up through the imbalance and take the higher side liquidity, or because the imbalance has been taken there and we're sort of shaking out people that are already in the trades, where we are hopefully then going to get that entry on the bargain basement. Sitting on your hands, stay disciplined, drawing out your price action throughout your swing point. What you identified at the start of your 2-hour session is imperative, because it's going to give you an idea and give you more directional bias of where you think price can go to and what price can do. Okay, again, we'll hold true, we stay fast, and we wait for that pinpoint entry on the bargain basement. Okay, we'll see what happens, and we'll be back within the next 10 minutes for the end of day conclusion. Hi guys, we're back again. It's now coming to the end of the session. Okay, however, I'm going to talk a little bit more on what I'm doing with it, what we're going to be doing, and the results at the end of this. It's been a good session personally. Before we go on to the chart and show you where we are, for me, it's been a good session because it's helping me getting back into the swing of things. I'm able to sort of give myself the bias and the directional play that I'm anticipating. But not only that, it's letting me get the consistency and confidence back on seeing these things play out, which can be hard, to be fair, especially on a 1 minute chart. But we're going to go back. Let's just share the screen. Get my handsome face a bit bigger. Now, what I'm going to be doing, because I'm true to my word, my goalposts, I will not be taking this trade if it does enter. However, this video and this video will not end until I see one of two things. It's either going to bounce off this and give us the entry, or it'll take out this high. Okay, we have met the imbalance, and it's now flagging down back towards the bargain area. Okay, so when I pause this video next, it's going to show you the end result for this particular play. Okay, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to end the video and then keep you wondering what's happening. The next time I pause this video, it'll stay on pause until the price is played out, and then what will happen is it'll show you an end result. Okay, so again, just to give you the state of play, we have got a range, which is the yellow box. We've got a higher low or a higher high. I was anticipating 3 different areas this morning. We spoke heavily about entries and what could happen when you get these entries. You've got a premium entry, a discount entry, and the bargain basement. The bargain basement is the area we all and always will anticipate to get the entry from. It's what's going to give us our risk to reward. Okay, now within that, if you've been watching this video, you will see that I was heavily anticipating an area of consolidation between the discount and the premium and this high low 3-pip maneuver. It held that structure and it done it pretty well. From there, again, you'll see these purple lines. These were my bias for directional play. Again, we got the move up and then we got the move back down. This one on the top was if the imbalance was broken through. Okay, if this imbalance gray area 50% was smashed through, I would anticipate a push out, push back on the 50%, and then take our range and then invalidating the overall player. It hasn't happened. It has respected the 50%, but now it's also coming down into the other area, which is our bargain basement. So overall, on that stretch of impulse and that maneuver, there was only 2 areas left as such, which was the imbalance area on the top and our bargain basement on the bottom. That has all happened, bang, 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 in and out, in and out, in and out, within the structure play of those 2 yellow eclipse circles. So that there is the field of play. What happens between is what we've played out with regards to the POIs or the point of interest. That's beautifully been going through the price action and it's been working out. However, I have a time slot of 2 hours. I will always have a time slot of 2 hours. That's what I've stuck to. That's what I steer to. And I will never change that. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, I sort of do my trading. I'll set myself a goalpost from A to B. And those goalposts, it's always a 2-hour session. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video in a moment and I'm going to let this price action play out. We'll see what happens. All it means is my upload for today might be a little bit longer than what it was anticipated, but I just want to come to not just an end of day conclusion and my thoughts. I also want to have this played out because it's been such a good session, in my opinion, for you guys to watch, to go through and see these different areas of the premium, discount and bargain, see how these play out within the point of interest as well. We're going to sort of pause the video. I'll come back and at the end of that video, we'll have the result on what's happened within this swing range point, but also give an end of day conclusion and my thoughts. So I hope you are enjoying the video. Keep on to the end, because the next time you see this handsome Geordie face of mine, you'll be seeing some sort of result on where this price is actually taking us to. Okay, guys, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi guys, so it's now 12 o'clock. It's an hour after the actual session was going to be ending. You just bear with me because I get a lot of notifications through the day to come through my watch. Yeah, so we were looking today at price action and finding what we call a premium price, discount price, and bargain basement price. Now, the structure was holding. We'll go on the charts in a minute. The structure was holding pretty well. We had a lot of directional bias where we were waiting for it to play out. In fact, we'll just go to the screen and I'll give you an overall play, and then I'll chat about my initial thoughts at the end. Get that handsome big Geordie face of mine in the corner. So as you can see, as expected, the imbalance was broken and then it came back down to retest back into it. We said once it's broke structure completely, which it did do there, it come back to do a retest, and then it took out the liquidity on the higher side. We haven't lost anything on the trade because it never ended. The overall bias was the swing point from the bottom to the top, higher low to the higher high. We had structure points within the intermediary price. Okay, the longer path that you're seeing here, these are predetermined to the half hour from the 1 minute. We do these on a morning. However, between these bigger swing points, obviously we have more corrections and impulses within that path. So it predetermines an area where we have what we call order blocks. Okay. Sorry. Now, as we have each of those order blocks come in, okay, we've had a premium area where we were expecting price to come in to mitigate and possibly take off. We've got a heavier discounted area and price because we're overall swing point range, the yellow box. We were expecting this to come in to take a play. We had a nested area in the overall retracement. The nested area is the gray area. It come in to mitigate into that beautifully. So by the time we had that point come in to mitigate, okay, excuse me, by the time we had this part come in to mitigate, we had this upper area, which was the imbalance, as you can see in here. Okay, as we come down to mitigate into the imbalance area, that only left one or two options that was ever going to happen. We were going to get a proper break through the imbalance, retest on the 50 on the imbalance, and then it was just going to take out the range on the higher side, which it did do. However, there was a brief glimpse and a brief sort of retraced area from here, more so, where we could possibly look at the area for the entry. And again, we always speak about wanting the bargain buys or the bargain sells. These are the areas within the swing point range from the high to low or low to high, where we are waiting for that retracement to come back down to mitigate from that order block area. This was on the area number 3, the bargain. This is the bargain area. Again, you could have gotten in on any one of these trades on the premium or the discount. On this occasion, the discounted area was the one to go with. Unfortunately, as we go for these bargain areas, they don't always play out. But as long as that structure holds within the time frame and the allotted time that we have, that is what I intentionally look for, and it's my sort of playbook. That's what I look for each time. On the higher low to the higher high, we had the pullback. Okay, I'm then seeing a break of structure here, and then I'm looking for this area of the bargain. Once I broke structure here, my entry was always going to be on the lower side, where I'm going to get the better RR return. Okay, but all in all, if we look higher up on here as well, you can see how it's mitigating to where I anticipated as well today. I marked out this higher side as an area, and it's beautifully gone into that as well. So again, great lesson, great session, and the directional bias and overall player is what I was anticipating and what I was looking for. Unfortunately, we didn't get the drive from where I wanted to come from, which was that bargain area. But overall, I think you'd admit this was a great session. It's good to get back on my feet. As you know, I've been out with COVID for the last couple of weeks, but now I'm finding my feet. I'm getting back into the rhythm. I might start doing some of these from a 9 o'clock start as well from now on, rather than the 8:30 to 10:30. We'll do one more session tomorrow this week, starting from the 9 o'clock to 11, and we'll see how we play out from there. So I'm just going to stop the share. I'm just going to do an overall conclusion, okay? So, excuse me. So for those guys that are new and have just started watching me, there's one of a couple of things you can do. You can show your support on this channel by clicking somewhere on the bottom. There'll be a join thing on there. For the price of a cup of coffee, I'll be forever grateful, because it helps me do these videos even more. But more so, you'll get access to that area up there, which is the Discord, for the price of a cup of coffee a month. From there, it lets me do my hosting and my uploads on there. And again, there is so much more inside of that group, not just from me. There's so many others that are sharing their experiences, their knowledge, and their process and thoughts that goes into their everyday trading. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be changing a few things around starting from next week. We're still going to be doing the sessions, but I'm not going to be doing them 5 days a week. I'm going to be looking to just do a Monday, a Tuesday, and a Wednesday. For this week, I will do tomorrow on the Thursday, okay? And we'll continue doing the 1 minute scalp, and we'll continue to do these point of interests, the price entries, imbalance areas, everything that goes within these ranges, okay, to help you identify your way around price action, how price moves, how to understand it. We'll teach you how to be more disciplined and have a more structured approach with regards to your trading, okay? So I hope you found today educational and informational. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, notification bell if you haven't already done so. It does help with regards to the algorithm on YouTube, but it'll also help you understand when I go live as well. And if you hit the subscribe button on there, even if it is at the free entry for now, you'll get the community within the YouTube as well. Okay, so you not only just get the Discord stuff, you'll get the YouTube community as well. I'll post the odd thing in there inside the community tab as well, with a bit more information and stuff what I do. But again, if you can be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the join for the price of a cup of coffee. It helps to support everything I do, guys. Okay, thank you very much. Until tomorrow, enjoy your trading, stay safe, keep disciplined, and stop when it stops becoming when the fun stops. Okay, so just take your time with your trading, don't revenge trade, understand the movement of price, and hopefully these videos that I do will give you that little bit of a light bulb moment. Okay, we'll see you all later.